Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Timmy Treacle, also known as Horror Fan for Life, and I'm going to be talking to you today about three movies that are near and dear to my heart. These three I grew up watching. Actually, I would say the first two I grew up watching. The third movie was more recent that I started watching and is now one of my favorites. But the first movie I'm going to be talking about is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now, this was released on August 13th, 1982. It is a coming of age comedy movie that received positive reviews with critics. It has a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, and an 82% on Google. On a $5 million budget, it made $50 million at the box office. And this was the directorial debut of Amy Heckerling, and this was written by Cameron Crowe, and it's based off his book of the same name. He went undercover at Claremont High School in San Diego and wrote about his experiences there. And therefore, you have Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The movie stars Sean Penn, Judge Reinhold, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Robert Romanos, Phoebe Cates, Brian Backer, Amanda Liss, Ray Walston, Forrest Whitaker. Two cameos by Eric Stoltz and Anthony Edwards. They play the Stoner Buds. And Nicolas Cage has a cameo as Brad's buddy. And this movie is about typical teenage high school students, relationships, drugs, alcohol, rock and roll, and all things in between. Sex as well. You have Senior and Brad, who's been dating this girl for several years in high school and wants to be free but doesn't know how to tell her. Well, in return, she actually tells him first that they should see other people and, explore other relationships because, this is their senior year. They should be free to do whatever they want. And besides his relationship breaking down, he starts to have problems at work. One day ends up getting into it with a customer, which is great, by the way. Then he has a hard time finding a job that he's comfortable with. He doesn't like wearing uniforms, and you see that later on in the movie. Going to Brad's younger sister. She's an incoming freshman, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. You have Stacey Hamilton. You have Mark Ratner, who's an incoming freshman, along with many others. Mr. Mark Ratner is the usher at a movie theater in the mall. This is back when the mall was really jumping and everything. And then Stacy works at a pizza joint in the mall as well. She's only 15 years old. She ends up meeting a guy there, a much older guy. She lies to him, says she's older than she is. They end up having sex, of course. It's her first time. Then he never calls again, and she's upset about that. Being it was her first time. But that's what happens. But this guy he was more of a loser. He was a manager of a radio store there in the mall, and her oldest friend, played by Phoebe Cates, says you want to live the rest of your life with him being old with a fat beer belly and having his kids, and it's just really funny. Phoebe Cates plays Linda, one of the more classic scenes in this movie. And I should have said something before, but this is going to contain spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, I apologize, but I'll make sure I put that in the description so you don't get thrown off by it. But if you haven't seen this movie, then I just feel sorry for you. But getting back to Linda and Stacy, they're in the cafeteria one day, and she asks a question about how do you give a blowjob. And so she demonstrates for Stacy with a carrot. And they're doing this throughout the lunch period. Eventually, it draws attention to everybody in there. They start clapping and everything. And it's really embarrassing. But that's one of the funny moments in the movie. And there's a scene that involves a human cadaver where they have to watch them remove organs. Jess Spicoli, played by Sean Penn, he's a stoner. He flies by the seat of his pants. He doesn't really try. He only cares about surfing and getting his next high. And he's really funny in this movie. He has Mr. Hand's history class, and some of the best scenes in the movie. One of the scenes, he orders pizza and ends up losing the pizza, and Mr. Hand divvies it out to the other students, which is really funny. But this is just a classic coming-of-age movie. Forrest Whitaker's in this movie, plays a big-time football star for the school. He has a younger brother. Another classic scene in this movie is towards the end where Brad is working at a convenience store. In comes Jess Spicoli to get a few things. While he's there, he uses the bathroom, and a guy comes in to try and rob the store. And Brad turns it on him, throws coffee in his face, and ends up getting promoted to manager, which I thought was really cool. Then towards the end of this movie, it gives you a little description of what happens to him after the school year and everything. And it's really funny. And getting back to another character, you have Mike Damone, played by Robert Romanus, and he's more of a wannabe ladies' man. He thinks he knows it all, but he's just a two-pump chump himself, and you find that out later on in the movie with him and Stacy. And another thing you see in this movie is it's about abortion, and because he ends up getting her pregnant, and he was supposed to give her a ride in this movie and pay for half of it. He does neither, and he ultimately pays for it. But like I said, this is a great coming-of-age comedy. It still holds up today. I love watching this movie. I actually own it on DVD, and it's just a lot of fun. The first-time director, she did a fabulous job with this movie, and the writing by Cameron Crowe was just top-notch. And this is a classic. This is one that will be around forever. I'm pretty sure. It was selected in 2005 for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being historically and culturally significant. So they find this movie really important, and it is. It's a classic. So if you haven't seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High, then you're missing out. So definitely check it out. And of course, I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10 and 2 thumbs up. So in the comment section below, if you've seen this movie, give me your thoughts and opinions on it. And what are some of your favorite coming-of-age movies? I've said mine many times before. Maybe I'll do a top 10 list of some my favorite coming-of-age movies. But other than that, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for all notifications. And stay tuned for 2 more movie reviews that are 2 personal favorites of mine. And I will continue to do this series every week, picking different movies that I haven't done reviews on, that some of them are under the radar that you may not know about. And I just want to share my love of these movies to all you guys as well. So, until next time, I thank you for watching, and check you later.